For thousands of years, honey has been more than just food. It's been medicine, currency, a symbol of health and purity. Today, millions of British families reach for honey when their children have a cough, when they want a natural alternative to sugar, when they're trying to make healthier choices. But what if the honey in your cupboard isn't honey at all? In 2023, Britain's official Food Authenticity Laboratory ran the most comprehensive honey testing program in a decade. Over 240 individual tests on 13 of Britain's most popular supermarket honeys. What they found raises serious questions about what we're actually consuming. 9 out of 13 samples contained sugars that don't occur naturally in real honey. 10 out of 13 showed chemical signatures suggesting adulteration with industrial syrups. And the implications go far beyond taste. Because when you consume something that isn't what the label claims, your body responds differently. To understand what's at stake, we need to understand what real honey actually is. Genuine honey is biochemically complex. It contains over 200 different compounds. Enzymes like diastase and invertase are created by bees during the honey-making process. Pollen, carrying proteins and micronutrients specific to local flora. Antioxidants, including flavonoids and phenolic acids, have been shown to have anti-inflammatory properties. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have demonstrated honey's antibacterial effects, its ability to soothe coughs in children, and its potential benefits for wound healing. But these benefits depend entirely on consuming actual honey. When honey is extended with rice syrup or corn syrup, as laboratory testing suggests is happening in many supermarket products, the chemical composition changes fundamentally. A nutritional biochemist had this to say about the state of British honey today. What concerns me most is the metabolic impact. Real honey contains enzymes that aid digestion and help regulate blood sugar response. Industrial syrups lack these enzymes entirely. When someone with diabetes or prediabetes chooses honey specifically because they believe it's a better option than refined sugar, but they're actually consuming corn syrup or rice syrup, they're making decisions based on false information, and their body's metabolic responses reflect that. The implications extend beyond metabolics. Scientific evidence from recent years, including research published in 2024 and 2025, supports the claim that genuine honey acts as a prebiotic, fostering the growth of beneficial gut bacteria vital to immune and digestive health. Industrial syrups not only lack these prebiotic properties, they may actively disrupt gut health in ways similar to refined sugars. There are also concerns about liver function. High fructose corn syrup, chemically similar to the rice syrups used to adulterate honey, has been linked to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in multiple studies. When a parent gives their child honey for a cough, as recommended by the NHS for children over 1, they're trusting that what they're giving is medicine, not just a sweetener. If that honey has been adulterated, it's not just ineffective, it's dangerous. It's a betrayal of trust. And according to the 2023 investigation, this isn't affecting a handful of obscure brands. It's affecting 9 of the 13 most popular supermarket honeys in Britain. Fera Science, based in York, is Britain's national reference laboratory for food authenticity. In 2013, they were instrumental in exposing the horsemeat scandal that shook British food retailers. They're accredited by UKAS, the United Kingdom Accreditation Service, and work closely with the Food Standards Agency. When concerns about honey authenticity reached a critical point, Fera designed what would become the most comprehensive supermarket honey investigation in Britain. They purchased 13 honeys from major British retailers, not from dodgy market stalls or suspicious online sellers, from Tesco, Sainsbury's, and Asda, the shops where millions of British families buy their groceries every week. Then they subjected each sample to over 240 individual tests. nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy to identify molecular signatures, mass spectroscopy to detect trace compounds, melissopollinology, pollen analysis to determine geographical origin, enzyme activity testing to verify biological authenticity. Dr. Paul Brederton, food authenticity specialist at Fera Science, said they were testing for specific markers. Psicose, a rare sugar that doesn't occur naturally in honey. If it's present, someone's added syrup. We were analyzing C4 sugar isotope ratios. Corn and sugarcane use different photosynthetic pathways than flowers. If C4 signatures appear, it indicates the addition of corn or cane syrup. And we were measuring enzyme patterns. Real honey contains diastase and invertase, living enzymes from bees. When honey's been adulterated or ultra-processed, those patterns change. They become flat, dead. The results were more concerning than even the researchers had anticipated. 9 out of 13 samples, psicose detected. 10 out of 13 samples, enzyme irregularities. 7 out of 13 samples, ultrafiltration markers. This wasn't a problem with obscure brands. It was widespread across Britain's most trusted retailers. To understand how this happened, you need to understand the economics of honey production. Between 2007 and 2023, Britain lost 41% of its commercial beekeepers. Operations that had sustained families for generations, gone. British honey production fell from 6,000 tons annually to just 3,500 tons. Meanwhile, imports surged to over 40,000 tons per year, 77% from China alone. At Chinese production facilities, scale is measured in thousands of tons. Production is industrialized. Costs are minimal. When supermarkets need to hit price points of 95 pence per jar, the mathematics become impossible with genuine honey. Rice syrup costs 40 to 60 pence per kilogram. It's designed to mimic honey's chemical profile closely enough to evade basic testing, and therein is the fraud. Blend a small amount of real honey with rice syrup or corn syrup, filter it aggressively to remove pollen that would reveal origin, and suddenly the economics work perfectly. You can hit that 95 pence price point and still make a profit at every stage of the supply chain. The only problem is what's actually in the jar.
What follows is based on their published findings. Rouse blended honey. Rouse, Britain's market leader. Approximately 35% of all honey sold in the UK carries this label. Laboratory analysis detected psicose, enzyme patterns inconsistent with pure honey. The label states blend of non-EU honeys. This provides no traceability, no way to verify origin or quality. What's particularly revealing is Rouse's own product range. Rouse British Wildflower, £1.40 per 100 grams. Rouse Blended, 85 pence per 100 grams. The same company sells one honey at 2 times the price of another. The differentiator is what's actually inside. Tesco Clear Honey, own brand product from Britain's largest grocer. Testing revealed the presence of psicose, enzyme irregularities suggesting syrup extension. When presented with these findings, Tesco issued a statement acknowledging that a more transparent honey testing regime is required. The product remains on sale. The label still states pure honey. Sainsbury's Clear Honey. Sainsbury's, positioned as quality-focused, premium pricing on their specialty ranges. Their basic clear honey, however, showed the same markers of adulteration as competitors. Enzyme signatures consistent with syrup addition, evidence of ultrafiltration to remove origin-identifying pollen. Asda Set Pure Honey, often priced under £1 per jar. Psicose detected, enzyme patterns indicating adulteration. At this price point, after all supply chain costs, genuine honey is economically infeasible. Co-op Clear Honey. The cooperative, built on principles of ethical sourcing and community benefit. Laboratory analysis found the same markers, psicose, enzyme irregularities, processing signatures. Ethical branding and product authenticity, it appears, are not the same thing. Aldi Bramwell's honey. Aldi Bramwell's frequently priced at 85 pence per jar. At this price, the mathematics of genuine honey production simply don't work. Now, how do one identify authentic honey? Given the scale of this issue, how can consumers protect themselves? There are 3 practical methods you can use immediately. First, and most importantly, examine the origin statement. If the label states blend of EU and non-EU honeys, this is a warning sign. Blend of non-EU honeys is worse. It provides no traceability. What you want to see is specificity. Product of the United Kingdom. Be wary of packed in UK. This only indicates where the bottling occurred, not where the honey originated. Second, consider the price. Genuine honey has a production cost floor below which it cannot fall. Production, extraction, packaging, transport, retailer margin, profit, these costs are inescapable. British honey, 8 to 12 pounds per standard jar. Quality imports, 5 to 8 pounds per jar. Under 2 pounds, almost certainly adulterated. Anything under 2 pounds should be viewed with extreme skepticism. The economics don't support a genuine product at that price point. Third, a simple home test. Place 1 spoonful of honey into a glass of room-temperature water. Don't stir. Genuine honey is dense, it sinks immediately and remains cohesive. When gently swirled, it dissolves very slowly. Honey extended with syrup dissolves rapidly. It disperses through the water in streaks. It behaves like the sugar solution it largely is. The difference is visually obvious within 30 seconds. Fortunately, authentic honey still exists. You simply need to know where to find it. First, local beekeepers. The most reliable source is local beekeepers. The British Beekeepers Association maintains a beekeeper directory at bbka.org.uk. Their beekeeper finder lets you find producers in your area. When you purchase directly from a beekeeper, you gain complete traceability. You can meet the producer, visit the hives, ask questions no supermarket could answer. Second, the London Honey Company. For those unable to source locally, certain brands have established verifiable provenance. The London Honey Company exclusively sources from over 500 British apiaries. Their honey is cold extracted and unpasteurized, preserving the natural enzyme activity that defines genuine honey. Every jar is traceable to specific British locations, available at John Lewis, Fortnum & Mason, and specialty retailers. Price reflects genuine production costs, 8 to 10 pounds per 250 grams. Third, Chainbridge Honey Farm. Chainbridge Honey Farm, operating in Northumberland since 1948, represents traditional British beekeeping. They maintain 1,500 to 1,800 hives. The honey comes from their own bees and apiaries. The farm welcomes visitors. You can observe the bees, meet the beekeepers, understand exactly where your honey originates. This is honey production as it should be: transparent, traceable, genuine. The honey fraud affecting British supermarkets isn't just about consumer deception, though that alone would be concerning enough to begin with. It's destroying an industry. British beekeepers, unable to compete with fraudulent imports, are abandoning a practice that sustained families for generations. It's undermining the bee populations that pollinate 70% of the crops we depend on. And it's affecting public health, because when people choose honey specifically for its health properties and receive industrial syrup instead, they're making decisions based on false information. The solution lies not with regulators, who lack resources for adequate testing and enforcement, nor with supermarkets, which ultimately respond to purchasing patterns. The solution lies with informed consumers. Check the label for the specific origin. Verify the price reflects genuine production costs. Perform the water dissolution test. When you choose genuine honey from traceable sources at prices that reflect actual production costs, you're not just purchasing a product, you're supporting sustainable British agriculture. You're protecting pollinator populations that our food system depends on, and you're ensuring that what you give your family is actually what you believe it to be. Real honey costs more. It always has. It always will. But at least you know what you're getting is real.